this is Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health, and I'm here with Roberto Ascione. He is the CEO of Healthware, as well as the chairman of Frontiers Health, which is a digital health conference. So Roberto, welcome. It's good to have you.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So I was going to ask you to talk a little bit. You're somebody who works broadly in digital health, and you know you have a lot of pharma clients and a lot of things that you explore here. So tell me, what's new in digital health, and what are you telling your clients to do these days?
Well, I think the probably most important things we are doing these days is really to build on top of the trends that we have been spotting over the past years, and of course also looking in what's new and cool trend-wise, but also putting a lot of emphasis on the execution. So how we can operationalize trends and opportunities that we've been uncovering in the past years. And to this point, we built a couple of models to really work on two big sectors, I would say. One is digital therapeutics, and the other one is about the digital health platforms. So in the digital therapeutic space, we have been piloting a few ideas how to really couple maybe a drug with a digital companion, how to leverage software soul interventions, so kind of pure digital therapeutics without the pill, so to speak, and how to integrate those within the pharmaceutical companies' processes. And of course we are in the beginning of this, but this attention to how to operationalize, how to move these things to real opportunities and how to execute against these programs, it's looking pretty promising, and we're getting, I would say, a lot of traction on this quite globally.
That's interesting, because it seems like right now, at this moment in innovation in healthcare, it's like everybody's done talking about like the dream and the trend and what are we going to do, and I feel like people have picked their projects and are now ready to dig in and start implementing. So it sounds like you're kind of there at the front edge of this implementation. How's it going? Is everybody ready to implement, or are people scrambling like, I don't know how to integrate a digital therapeutic? What do you think?
Well, I mean, there are some that are doing more and some are doing less. I think there is a general consensus about this area. Implementing is a lot tougher because there's a lot of embedded complexity in large companies in general and pharmaceutical companies specifically. There's a leadership and a change management really, trend that needs to be addressed, and also this is all new. So it's all about generating proof of concepts, trying to extract the learnings from this, and also figuring out how this can be really operationalized at scale. And this certainly won't happen like overnight, but I think there are some players that have really started to really look at this as no longer a potential option for the future, but as something they really need to kind of master, integrate, and ultimately deploy. And this is quite exciting. We are fortunate enough to have a few of these things ongoing. So hopefully soon we'll start to see the first kind of measurable results, which I believe, as typical in these transformations, once these results will start to be spread, probably like all new energy, will be added to the system.
I want to talk a little bit about this change management topic, because I feel like that's really interesting, because this is like a fundamental piece of innovation. Are people ready for this? Do they know how to integrate the innovation into their business processes? Is leadership supporting it? What's the culture doing? So through your work with Healthware and your clients, how are you addressing this? Or how are you helping these companies that have a certain way of doing things be ready to integrate some of these new technologies in?
I don't think it's just one thing that is needed, because to your point, it's about leadership, it's about change management, it's about permission to fail, it's about how you deal with the startup ecosystem, which is very important, is how you really navigate through this complexity. And not less how you do educate your customers. So telling a physician that now she can prescribe a video game that is as effective or if more effective than a drug, after forever that we've been learning and teaching about chemical compounds, active compounds and all sorts of things, prescribing a piece of software is radically different. So there's a change management on the kind of customer side and ultimately the patient side. So I think it's a mix of many different actions, and it won't last for a little time frame. This is a process. I think leadership is really going to get in there from the very top. I think the challenge will be how from there you really go into the day by day, where you still have to do a zillion other things, and not necessarily you're prepared to embrace something that is radically new. And even those that have been working on this for years are uncertain about exactly how to execute this or that aspect. So I think it's a general kind of call to action to meaningfully experiment, but no longer in isolation in something that is relegated to a concept of a pilot, but really run proof of concepts and then all the business integration throughout, which we are just beginning to experience. But it's a complex change management effort that is needed, and I believe it will happen. It's just a matter of time and finding the right levers. Depending organization by organizational culture will play a role, depending on the specific kind of cultural background of the specific company.
I agree. Very cool. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about Frontiers Health. So this is a unique conference in this space, I think. I mean, I've had the pleasure to go before, and it's lovely. And the thing that you guys do is you really do a wonderful job of bringing together some of these big pharmaceutical companies with startups and with other VC companies that are all swirling in this space. So talk a little bit more about Frontiers. Tell everybody what it's about.
Well, Frontiers Health is something that takes place yearly, mid-November, usually the third week of November. Has been mainly in Berlin, Germany, and for the foreseeable future will stay there. Frontiers Health is basically where healthcare meets innovation. It's an experience. There's a lot of music, design, and really conceived this way as a little bit of the TEDs of the good old days, to really help people to kind of move away from their daily routine for those 2 days where literally entrepreneurs from all over the globe, industry, venture capital, and generally speaking, everyone that is dealing with digital health is getting together for this couple of days. It's purposely capped to 600 people, and it keeps a balance, which is roughly a third entrepreneur, a third industry, and a third investors. And the whole idea behind that is to really help the entrepreneurs to meet all the different stakeholders. So it's not only pharma, it's also medical device, is health insurers, and hospitals as well. So to bring them together, let them learn something. So day one is always about breakouts and workshops and deep dives and discover new companies. And day two is more like inspirational. So there are great keynoters that over the years are joining us. And for us at Healthware is also a little bit of a celebration of this kind of long-standing journey devoted to healthcare transformation. And it's great that, as a player industry, WTF Health has been at Frontiers over time and will be in the future. And some of these videos that you'll see will be certainly recorded there. And it's great because it's almost like a platform event. It doesn't compete with anyone because, in fact, all the other events and incubators and accelerators and investors, they all come together. And it's for these 2 days where you see the world of digital health in one place, in one city, in one room. So that's really what it is, Frontier.
So dynamic too. That's my favorite part of that conference. It's got this like energy unlike any other, and it's just it like sizzles. Like it's just got a vibrance to it, and it's truly an international conference. I want to say that too, because I've got to speak to some lovely people there from around the world about what's happening in digital health and the healthcare innovation space. So I look forward to seeing you at the next one. And for everybody who wants to check it out, make sure that you look up Frontiers Health and take a look at that. And while you're there, click on the link to Healthware and learn more about Roberto and the stuff that he's doing with this company. Roberto, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much. It's always so interesting to hear your perspective because you're such a macro thinker, and it's cool that you're implementing now. Can't wait to see the changes you make. I'm Jessica DaMassa with WTF Health. Thanks for joining us.